She screamed that I was trespassing on HOA property, waving a binder like it was a badge of law. The problem? My land, my legally purchased, fully documented 2.3 acres, sat 47 feet outside her jurisdiction. Yet that didn't stop her from threatening fines, lawyers, and the police. I thought she'd calm down once she saw the proof. I was wrong. That pink blazer woman would rather burn her own reputation than admit she was wrong. The morning started like a dream. I'd finally bought land after 8 years of saving a quiet stretch off County Road 12, unincorporated, no HOA, no nonsense. I stepped out of my truck boots, crunching gravel air thick with pine and damp soil. I'd planned where the foundation would go, where my daughter Mara's swing set might hang. Then came the sound that ruined the peace heels, stabbing gravel. A voice sharp enough to scatter the birds. "Excuse me, what do you think you're doing?" She came marching toward me, 50s blonde hair posture like a drill sergeant, and that ridiculous hot pink blazer glowing under the morning sun. She clutched a thick binder to her chest. I knew instantly. HOA. "You're violating community covenants," she barked. I blinked, confused. "Ma'am, this land isn't in your HOA." I laid out the deed and the county plat map on my truck hood. Pinerest Meadows stops at Lot 32. This is Lot 47, 47 feet beyond. She didn't even glance. "I don't need your papers. I've been president for 9 years, I know our boundaries." She snapped photos of me, my truck, the stakes in the ground. "Cease construction immediately or I'll fine you $500 per day." I took her picture in return. "For the record, you're trespassing on private property. I'm asking you to leave." Her jaw tightened, color rising in her cheeks. "You'll be hearing from my lawyer." She spun around and stormed back toward her perfect little subdivision. That night I laid out the same documents on our kitchen table. My wife Nayan leaned over them, tracing the county seal with her finger. She didn't even look at any of this. Not once. Nayan shook her head. "That's not how boundaries work." I laughed, but it sounded hollow. "No, it's not." She squeezed my hand. "You did the right thing staying calm." I wanted to believe that, but Brenda's words, "people like you," kept echoing. 2 days later, a letter appeared under my windshield wiper. No stamp, no return address. Inside, notice of violation, unauthorized construction on HOA common land. Fine $500 per day. I took a photo, saved it, logged the date. Then I drafted a reply, short factual attaching the plat and survey, politely requesting she cease contact. My hand still shook when I hit send. At 6 the next morning my phone rang. Her voice sliced through the dark. "Mr. Hayes, you are still in violation of HOA covenants." I rubbed my eyes. "Miss Carmichael, it's 6 a.m. This is a serious matter. You're making our neighborhood look bad. I won't allow it." That word, respectable, hung heavy. I breathed slowly. "I've provided proof. If you have evidence to the contrary, show it. Otherwise, stop contacting me." She huffed. "I don't need evidence." Click. I started documenting everything, photos, calls, timestamps. It felt paranoid, but my realtor had warned me. Document everything. By day 6, she was back on my property, snapping photos silently. I recorded her calm voice, steady. "You're on private land. Leave or I'll call the police." She smiled like it amused her. "Go ahead. They'll agree with me." She left without another word. Another letter came, fines raised to $750 a day, threats of legal action. That's when I hired a lawyer. Quincy Aldridge spoke like he'd seen this 100 times. "You've got an airtight case. Deed survey, county plat, no ambiguity. Send me everything. I'll draft a cease and desist." For the first time, I felt the tension ease. Maybe logic would end this. Quincy's letter went out certified mail. Brenda's response came through an attorney of her own, full of bluff. They claimed the HOA had extended boundaries. No documents, no filings, just words. Quincy contacted the county recorder and obtained a certified statement, no amendments since 1998. When he sent that back to their lawyer, I figured it was over. But Brenda doubled down. The HOA board, 7 members, 4, loyal to her, voted to sue me. I stared at the email, disbelief, curdling into anger. "This is about ego now, not facts," Quincy said. "You're solid legally, but be prepared they're dragging you into court. I wanted to quit. I sat up late, staring at the folder labeled HOA Dispute. All those letters, screenshots, call logs, it felt endless. Nayan found me at the table, head in hands. "Maybe we should just move," I whispered. "Sell it, walk away." She shook her head. "You'd be letting her win." "You know you're right. Don't give her that satisfaction." I thought about Mara's swing set, the dream of open space. Something hardened in me. I wasn't backing down. Then one dawn my phone pinged, motion alert. I opened the camera feed. Brenda stood at my gate, hair messy, no makeup, wearing a heavy coat. For a second I thought she might be there to apologize. Then she pulled out a pair of bolt cutters. I watched her snap my padlock clean in two and hang red tape across my gate reading, "HOA property, no trespassing." She looked straight into the camera before walking away. My chest burned. I drove out there as the sun rose. The broken lock glinted on the gravel. I took photos from every angle, then called the sheriff's office. When the officer arrived, I showed him the footage. He sighed. "That's vandalism and trespassing. She's digging her own grave." He filed a report and handed me the case number. I called Quincy before the cruiser even left. He didn't sound surprised. "Perfect," he said. "We'll file a counterclaim, harassment, vandalism, and a declaration that your property is outside their jurisdiction." The hearing came a week later. Small courtroom, fluorescent lights humming overhead. Brenda sat across from me, shoulders stiff, pink blazer back in full glory. Her lawyer looked nervous already. Judge Kemp entered, gray hair, calm eyes that said she'd seen it all. Brenda's side went first. Their argument was paper-thin, long-standing community understanding. The judge raised an eyebrow. "Do you have a recorded plat amendment?" Silence. "A certified survey?" More silence. Then it was Quincy's turn. "Your Honor, the facts are indisputable." He handed over exhibits one by one: my deed, the official plat, the GPS survey confirming 47.2 feet beyond the HOA boundary, the county certification, and finally the video Brenda cutting the lock. The room was silent except for the faint hum of the playback. When it ended, Judge Kemp leaned forward. "Ms. Carmichael, have you reviewed these documents?" Brenda's voice was small. "I've seen some, but I know our boundaries." The judge removed her glasses. "Knowing is not evidence. The law recognizes deeds and surveys, not gut feelings." Brenda's last defense cracked. "He doesn't belong. He's threatening our community." The judge's tone cooled to ice. "Threatening. By building on land he owns." She turned to me. "Mr. Hayes, you have acted within your rights." Then back to Brenda. "Your injunction is denied. You will pay Mr. Hayes $2,500 in damages and $1,200 in legal fees. The HOA will issue a written apology and publish a boundary correction within 30 days. Contact him again, and I'll sign a restraining order myself." The gavel fell. Brenda stood frozen, then hurried out without meeting my eyes. Outside sunlight hit me like release after a long storm. My phone buzzed. "Nan." "How did it go?" I typed back. "We won. Everything." I didn't celebrate. I just sat in my truck staring at the binder on the passenger seat, my fortress of evidence, and exhaled. Weeks later, the HOA mailed a formal apology and a check for $3,700. A new notice appeared in their newsletter. Property boundary clarification lots east of 32 are not part of Pinterest Meadows. Brenda resigned the next day. But I didn't feel triumph, just quiet exhaustion and something close to peace. I drove out to the property again, walked the boundary, touched each steel survey pin, each orange flag marking the line she'd refused to see. The air smelled like pine and freedom. I pulled out my phone, scrolled through the photos, her yelling the letters, the broken lock, the courtroom still of her face when the verdict dropped. Then I archived them all. Proof, not memories. If this story teaches anything, it's this: real power doesn't come from shouting. It comes from staying calm, knowing the rules better than the person trying to twist them, and standing your ground until the truth speaks for itself.